Hey people, you guys are getting 2 videos in one day. Why? I'll tell you later why. But so I want to talk to you guys about planting these potatoes. So potatoes are very easy to grow, especially in containers. You guys seen these before. You get the potatoes and they start growing eyes on them. Well, for me, I wasn't planning on growing potatoes this year, but my wife found a bag of potatoes on the counter that we forgot that we had, and it had started growing eyes on them. Now, you could immediately throw those away, or you could do what I did, which is put them in a cool place with a little light, which was in my garage, and wait for them to grow a little bit more, and then they're ready to go. This is called chitting with a Chitting. Chitting your potatoes. Now, I'm going to be putting, once they grow like this, these are ready to go. These are the same things that you would purchase if you go to a store, and they're called seed potatoes. It's the same thing. Now, every potato that you grow, that you get from the market, may not do this. Mine did come from the market, so I actually didn't buy seed potatoes. And the reason why a lot of them don't do that in the markets is because there is something that they put on potatoes to keep them from doing this. So, if you go to a place that has organic products and stuff like that, you might be able to avoid that, but sometimes you won't. And so they won't sufficiently grow. These have been growing, so I'm going to assume that I can actually do these with this, okay? Now, for my potatoes, I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to do. I'm actually going to be putting 6 of these in a bucket of this size. Now, I don't need to put 6 in this bucket to get potatoes. The reason why I'm putting 6 is because I have so many over there, and I didn't originally plan on growing potatoes, so I'm going to just shove them in, okay, into here, okay? So the 6 into here. So I'm going to show you how I'm going to shove them in, and show you guys generally what you would do when you grow potatoes, okay? So bear with me. So I'm going to take that premium soil mix that we made, and I'm going to put, sorry guys, hold on. I'm going to put a layer of about 4 to 6 inches down in the bottom of this. So I have my shovel here, and I'm just going to scoop it out. Try to be careful, now that I have this premium mix, I can't be sloppy with it, right? So you want to put about 4 to 6 inches down at the bottom. Okay. And then we're going to put those down. Smooth it out. You want it to be flat. You guys see that? So you want it to be level. Now what I'm going to do is put in 3 of my potatoes. And what you want to do when you put them in, you want the eyes to be up. Now, let me go over something real quick. I could have actually split this potato in half. I could have cut this potato in half and actually had 2 of these. But again, like I said, I wasn't planning on growing potatoes, so it doesn't matter. I'm just going to do it this way. But if I really wanted to grow a whole lot of potatoes, what I would have done is slice this potato right in between, right where it has the 2 separate eyes on it. Then you would wait, 3-4 days for the potato to heal You need it to heal. You don't want to slice it and then bury it, because with that open, wet potato can cause this thing to get a disease, get mildew, bacteria, and it'll die inside. So you'll just wait until the skin hardens up where you cut it at, and then at that point you can bury it. So 3-4 days it'll take to harden up in between, and then you'll be able to bury it that way. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bury these in a particular pattern. I'm going to show you guys why. So let me move up, see if I can get it right above. So what we're going to do is bury these in a pattern. I'm going to put 1, 2, give me another small one, 3. So it looks like a triangle, right? So what I'm going to do is now I'm going to bury these. So that I'm putting almost another 6 inches. Now I'm doing this differently than I normally would, and I'll explain why. Okay, so normally I would bury these not in about 6 inches, but probably about 3 inches, and then I would allow them to grow up. So what's going to happen is, if you just left it like that, after a week or two, of course you'll water it, you'll see the plants will start shooting up through the soil. Once you see all those plants shoot up on the soil and they grow to about 2-3 inches, what you're going to do is fill up more soil to cover the stalks that grows, and just leave like the top plant. So so if it grew 3 inches, you'll fill it up to about 2.5 inches. You see what I'm saying? And then it will grow some more, and then you'll keep doing it. Fill, grow some more, fill, grow some more, fill, until it gets to the top of the bucket. Now, I'm going to tell you why I'm doing it a little bit different. There are 2 types of potatoes that you can get. Potatoes are in the same family as, white potatoes anyway, are in the same family as tomatoes. They're called nightshades. That means they have there's 2 different types of potato. There's a determinate potato and there's an indeterminate potato. What a determinate potato does is, say I buried these things here, right? As soon as they crack the level, the soil, a determinate potato, no matter how much soil you fill up the bucket with, the determinate potato is only going to grow the potatoes at beneath the first layer that it cracked. Okay, so what that means is, so say if right now, after a week or two, some shoots start growing up in this thing, the potatoes are only going to grow at this level and below. Even though I keep adding soil and they keep growing up and they keep growing up, the potatoes are still only going to grow beneath this point right here. All of this is going to be dead space. You'll see that, and you notice when you'll watch people's videos and they grow them in these containers, they'll dump over a bucket and all the potatoes will be down at the bottom, and the whole other thing is just filled with dirt. Why? That's because there was a determinate potato in there. Now, an indeterminate potato is going to, so say I put this first level, soon as it grows up, potatoes are going to start growing beneath this level. When I add dirt, it's going to now put out more roots, and then the potatoes are going to grow at that level. When it grows up, I add dirt, I put more, and it's going to grow at that level. So An indeterminate potato is going to grow at every level. When you see somebody dump over a bucket and you see them starting to move dirt and there's a potato here, potato there, potato here, potato there, potato here, potato there, that means they were growing a indeterminate potato. Okay. Now, when you're buying seed potatoes, sometimes you can tell, I want to purchase an indeterminate or I want to purchase a determinate potato. Normally the determinate potatoes will grow faster because they're only growing at that bottom level. Indeterminate potatoes normally take a longer time to grow because they're waiting for all those little potatoes to start growing before they say, all right, I'm done. Okay. Now, because I don't know what kind of potatoes these are, well, I think they are, I think these are indeterminate potatoes, but I'm going to grow them as if they were determinate potatoes. And there's a trick you can use to get more potatoes when you're growing determinate potatoes. The reason why I'm going to assume I'm going to grow them like determinate potatoes is 1, because I'm putting 6 in this bucket no matter what. 2, because I actually didn't purchase them as seed potatoes, so I don't know how they're going to actually grow since they came from the market. Okay, so the trick I found, don't do that. Sorry guys. The trick I found from some people over in Europe, in the UK, what they do with their determinate potatoes is they put a layer down here. That means that first layer of potatoes that I buried is only going to grow at this point and below. What they will then do is put another set of potatoes here and bury them. That way, that group of potatoes is going to grow in that next section. So they will put a bucket like this together and have 2 sets of determinate potatoes growing, which means at the very bottom they're going to have potatoes, and right above that they're also going to have more potatoes, and that's how they're going to do it. So I put it in those potatoes in a particular pattern. 1 here, 1 here, 1 here. And what I'm going to do is the next level up, I'm going to reverse the pattern. So I'm going to put 1 here, right? Because there's going to be 2 potatoes growing here. And then I'm going to be growing 1 here and 1 here, because there's 1 potato here. So what I did was I kind of made it so that they don't actually grow in over each other. Now, if I had another one, I could probably put 1 in the center as well, but I'm going to go with the triangle over triangle pattern. I hope this stuff, what I'm saying, is making some kind of sense with you guys. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bury this Then again, after we bury it, we're going to smooth it out. So my bucket is now halfway full. So what I'm going to do is water this in, or actually I'm not going to water it in, and I'm going to tell you why. I'm a lazy gardener, and that's why I told you guys I'm giving you 2 videos in a day. If you see up here, this is a very cloudy day because we're about to rain. So anytime it's about to rain, I like to plant stuff. Why? Because I don't have to water it. But beginners, don't follow my direction. You make sure you water this in nice and good, and then you water it. And then what I'm going to do is wait till those stalks start growing, and then I will backfill with more soil. Now at this point here, I'm also going to put in a little bit of fertilizer. I don't have my fertilizer here. What you will want to put, if you're doing organic gardening, you'll want to do something like a bone and blood mix, or like that organic mix that I showed you guys before. Put a scoop of that in here, mix it in here. If you're not doing it organic, you can put a general fertilizer in here. The most important thing, remember, potatoes are root vegetables, so it's not going to be the nitrogen, that first number. It's going to be the last two numbers that you want to be kind of high. Now, if you get a fertilizer, if you're doing inorganic and you have a fertilizer that is, all the numbers are big, then that's fine. But you don't want to do something that's like a 20 nitrogen and, a 5 and a 4 on the other ones, right? Because that's more for leaf growth and stuff like that. You want something, that has those last two numbers pretty good size. If you do something like that mix that I showed you guys before, that's going to give you a well balance, but it's also that bone meal is going to give you that heavy phosphorus, the heavy phosphorus, which is going to be good for the root growth. And that's really about it, guys. That's how I'm going to grow my potatoes. So I'm putting 6 in a bucket. I dedicated 3 buckets to these potatoes, and I'm going to grow my 3 buckets, and we'll keep track of it during the year. All right, peoples. I hope you learned something this way. The method that I'm using. Again, you don't have to do it this way. You could do it the way I showed you beforehand, which is just at that first level, wait till stuff grow up, put some more, wait till stuff grow up, put some more. But I'm going to grow it this way because I got a bunch of potatoes that I didn't plan on growing. All right, peoples, thanks a lot. Talk to you guys later. If you have any questions, please make sure you like, follow, subscribe to me everywhere at Old McWaller. Well, I'm sorry, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I actually answer people's questions on Facebook, so people have been sending me message through my Facebook page. So if you have any questions, you can ask me a comment. You leave a comment down on YouTube, but if you also want to just want to get some more info, hit me up on Facebook, like me on Facebook, send me a message. All right, people, peace out.